Hello students, welcome to another video. I hope I am audible and visible to you all. Quickly drop in a message in the comment section and let me know if you can listen and hear to me. Hello, good evening everybody. So I'm just waiting for some of your comments and then I will begin with the session. So I hope you have already subscribed to the channel. I will be able to see the messages from the subscribers. So I would want to see your messages. I would want to see how well are you, going about or going through the current affairs news and other things that are going in and around the world. You all already know the first phase of elections have already begun from today. There are a lot of places that where elections are ongoing. So drop it in the comment section, drop it in the chat box, let me know. Let's see how many of you are aware of this. Let's see. See, we have a lot of exciting news, exciting things lined up. We have a lot of events or a lot of not only about the events, not only about other batches and other things, but as well we have a lot of good news that is there for this week. So come on, drop in a message. Let's wait for a minute, and then we'll begin with the session. How are you all doing? How has this week been for you? There was a lot of news that I had discussed in the last week's session, and I had asked to, drop in some messages in the comment section to let me know the answers for it. Unfortunately, I don't see any comments. So why don't you check out the last video and drop some messages in the comment section so that I'll be able to see if you are really going through the current affairs sessions. So I hope I am audible. I am clearly visible to you all. Let us then begin with the session. We have some news that is lined up. So let's see if my screen is visible to you all. I'm guessing it's visible. Let's just wait for a minute. Once I get your messages, I'll move ahead. So yeah, wonderful. Good to see that my screen is also visible. Let's begin with the session. The first news that we are discussing is US Japan plan to announce or plans to send Japanese astronaut to moon. Now, what do we mean by this? Okay. So we know for a fact that the President Joe Biden has declared that the Japanese astronauts will partake in the forthcoming National Aeronautics and Space Administration, that is also known as NASA. So, NASA's lunar missions highlighting strengthened bonds between the US and Japan. So, the ongoing development, ongoing growth between US Japan will help in and is going to go till space now. Similarly, in the future, two Japanese astronauts will join NASA's lunar mission, and one of them will be the first non-American to land on the moon. Okay, now some important facts that you must be aware of in terms of both the places. So the president or something about US is the president is Joe Biden. The capital of US is Washington DC. Similarly, the currency used here is US dollar. Likewise, the prime minister for Japan is Fumio Kishida, and we have the capital as Tokyo. Similarly, the currency here is Japanese yen. Why do these things become important? Is because your CLAT examination generally asks you for these things, so it's always better to keep yourself aware about it. Now, moving ahead, what are we seeing? One important news that a lot of you kids might not really like, but yeah, remove Bonvita from the category of healthy drinks or health drinks. The reason being that the government has recently directed all the e-commerce platforms to remove the drinks like Bonvita from the healthy category of on their portals. Why is this happening? Basically, the NCPCR, that is National Commission for Protection of Children's Rights or Child Rights, that is a statutory body which is constituted under the Section 3 of Commission of Protection of Children, that is CPCR Act of 2005. Now, after its inquiry under Section 14 of CRPC Act of 2005, concluded that there is no health drink defined under FSS Act of 2006. The rules and regulations submitted by FSSI and Mondelez India Food Private Limited, they say that the Commerce and Industry Minister said in an advisory to all the e-commerce companies. So outright they have now mentioned that all the e-commerce companies have to remove this from the health drinking or healthy drinking category. Similarly, why this thing happened is because earlier the last month, uh, the NCPCR chief, that is National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Priyank Kanungo, had written to the Ministry of or Minister of Commerce and Industry on the issue and has recommended that the directions may be issued to all the e-commerce companies to remove drinks from their sites. So this becomes a very important thing because a lot of times that we were drinking this basically in order to think that this is going to give you some strength. You already know this thing that the advertisements also show it like that itself. So that is another reason. Okay. Moving ahead, what are we seeing? Kristalina Georgieva reappointed as IMF's managing director or MD. Now, this reappointment basically means that of the International Monetary Fund for the another term of 5 years, starting from the 1st of October 2024. The announcement was made just before International Monetary Fund's and World Bank's spring meeting was taken place in Washington, which were expected to draw thousands of delegates, observers, and journalists from the fund's 190 members of the countries. Similarly, the managing director is appointed by the executive board, which can choose a managing director through either voting or consensus. So there are two options, and out of which one option can be utilized while electing the MD. Now, to know about IMF, the headquarter is in Washington D.C., US. Similarly, the managing director, as we discussed, is Kristalina Georgieva, and we have 190 members as its membership. So we have 189 from the United Nations members and Kosovo. Similarly, the next one is another important news to discuss, that is with regards to the space tourism. What is this thing? The entrepreneur Gopi Thotakura is said to be the first Indian tourist to travel to space on Blue Origin's NS-25, which is founded by Jeff Bezos. Now, space tourism is a very niche sector within the aviation, offering individuals to the opportunity to experience space travel. Now, it can be for leisure, recreation, or business purposes as well. This concept is outlined in the book called as Air Transport, a Tourism Perspective, which is edited by Anne Graham and Frederick Dobzus. So it becomes important for you to know this thing as a one-liner as well, the name of the book about Jeff Bezos, and the name of the flight, and the name of the person who is going to be the first Indian to do this. Similarly, there are two types of tourism in the same sector. We have one which is a suborbital tourism, and the second which is the orbital tourism. So suborbital basically is the spacecraft transport passengers that just beyond the Kármán line, which is approximately 100 kilometers above Earth's surface, making the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and the outer space. Similarly, the orbital tourism is what? It's a tourism which involves longer duration trips into Earth's orbit, where the passengers may spend days or weeks aboard the spacecraft. Now, this experience is basically life in microgravity environments. So they both are a little different kind of an experience, and both the things are for majorly leisure recreation or business purposes only. Moving ahead, another thing that we are seeing is Dustlick 2024. What is this? Basically, it is a India-Uzbekistan's joint military exercise known as Dustlick, which is set to commence or which has commenced from 15th of April in the Termez district of Uzbekistan. The fourth edition, now this is the fifth edition, the last year's edition or the fourth edition had taken place on the February 20th, which is of the last year, at the foreign training node Pithoragarh in Uttarakhand. Since last year it was in India, this year it is in Uzbekistan. Similarly, the participating contingents from Indian armed force are there and the armed forces of the Republic of Uzbekistan. They will undergo joint training sessions that is of a 2-year long week. Okay. Similarly, the focus will be on sharing the best practices in sub-conventional operations under the United Nations mandate that is aiming to bolster operational effectiveness and coordination between the two airlines. So these two things again are some of the objectives why this thing is has it been organized, and what is the focus, what are the key agendas in Dustlick 2024. Similarly, Russia's successful Angara A5 rocket test launch. Now, what is this thing? Basically, Angara A5 space rocket has been launched for the first time on April the 11th of 2024. The test launch was conducted from the Vostokhy Cosmodrome in the far east of Russia. Now, to know more about Russia, what is it? The capital is Moscow. The currency is Russian ruble. The Prime Minister is Mikhail Mishustin and the President is Vladimir Putin. Similarly, when we move ahead, what do we see? The World Cyber Crime Index, which is unveiled. What is this thing? And it's another important thing. This is a newly developed index which sheds light on the origins and prevalence of cybercrime across the globe. Russia and Ukraine emerge as the top two hubs of cybercrime according to this index. Similarly, India also secures the 10th position here, scoring a notable impact in professionalism and technical skills. Likewise, China and the US closely follow, showcasing their performance in the cyber criminal activities. And finally, the certain cyber crimes are then associated by specific countries, which are data or identity theft with the US and technical products and services with the China. So, coming to the end of the session, I would not only want you to like, share, and subscribe, but also drop in the comment section to see if you are really going through the current affairs videos and what else do you want from us. We have a lot of things lined up and excited for not only the CLAT 25 but also the CLAT 26 batches. So what are you waiting for? Drop in the comment section if you're interested, or come to our nearest center and we will help you out with the best. Coming to the end of the video, don't forget to like. I'll see you all in the next session. I hope that you're studying well and you're going through the current affairs on regular basis. Remember, memory has its own memory. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and write down the news on regular basis. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye-bye, take care, and all the best.